There is a law working in your life right now, whether you know it or not. A law more powerful than circumstance. A law higher than the economy. A law greater than your past mistakes. And that law is spiritual. Everything you experience today is the result of seeds you planted in thought, emotion, and word. Life does not bring you what you want. It brings you what you consistently think, feel, and declare. Your spoken word is not merely sound drifting into the air. It is a living force shaping your future in ways most people never realize. Every sentence you utter carries energy, and that energy carries instruction. Life does not randomly respond to you. It answers your language. When you continuously speak of struggle, scarcity, fear, or disappointment, you are not just describing your condition, you are designing it. The world you wake up to tomorrow is often the echo of the words you repeated today. What you call conversation is actually construction. What you label complaining is often the blueprint of tomorrow's obstacles. Words operate like seeds planted into the invisible soil of consciousness. Some seeds grow abundance, others grow limitation. You may plant wealth with a single confident declaration, or plant poverty with a casual sentence spoken without awareness. Many people speak failure jokingly and wonder why life never takes them seriously. They say, "I'm broke, nothing ever works, I can't catch a break," without realizing these are not harmless phrases. They are instructions to the subconscious mind, silently shaping belief and behavior beneath awareness. Once impressed upon the inner world, these beliefs organize experiences to match them. You must therefore become the guardian of your tongue. Do not allow your mouth to utter what you do not want multiplied. Speak only the language you wish life to become fluent in. If you desire success, speak in success. If you desire wealth, speak in wealth. If you desire favor, speak in favor. The subconscious does not analyze your words, it acts upon them. It takes you literally. It never filters sarcasm or exaggeration. It hears only command. That is why careless speech is far more dangerous than deliberate thought, for words possess momentum long after they leave your lips. When you speak with conviction, unseen forces rearrange circumstances. The universe does not respond to desperation, it responds to authority. Speak not as one who begs reality, but as one who instructs it. The voice that hesitates weakens its command. The voice that declares strengthens unseen bridges between desire and arrival. When you say with calm certainty, "Wealth is flowing to me," or "All doors are opening in divine order," or "I am guided and supplied," you may feel as though you are merely speaking into space. Yet you are sending coded instruction into a field of intelligence that governs outcomes far beyond your sight. Observe your inner dialogue as carefully as your outer speech, for even silent words shape destiny. Your mind is speaking at all times. If its language is doubt, life answers doubt. If its language is confidence, life responds in kind. What you whisper inwardly sets the tone of your future as much as what you speak aloud. Change the language and you change the landscape. Shift the sentence and destinies reroute. One word spoken in faith can undo years of fear. One sentence declared in certainty can override decades of doubt. Your future does not depend on your circumstances, it depends on your vocabulary. Choose words that construct greatness. Speak a life you cannot yet see, and eventually you will walk into it. Understanding faith in its true nature changes everything about how you approach life. Faith is not emotional excitement, and it is not blind optimism. It is a quiet inner knowing that settles your spirit even before circumstances move an inch. It is the calm certainty that something unseen is already real, already arranged, already moving in your direction. Most people wait to believe after they see results, but spiritual law works in reverse. You do not see first and believe later. You believe first, and then reality catches up with your conviction. The unseen responds long before the physical world does. When you live from faith, you stop negotiating with fear. You no longer allow doubt to dictate your choices or anxiety to shape your decisions. You begin to act as someone who expects results, not as someone hoping for rescue. Faith infuses your posture, your tone, your energy. There is a noticeable difference between a person who wishes and a person who knows. One leans forward in desperation, the other stands upright in certainty. This difference is felt even when not spoken. Life senses the frequency of your expectations and mirrors it. Faith is not forcing outcomes or demanding results. It is releasing control and trusting intelligence beyond your own. When you insist, you resist. When you relax into knowing, you invite alignment. The unseen field responds not to pressure, but to confidence, not to anxiety, but to assurance, not to pleading, but to expectation. You cannot bully your way into abundance. You must believe your way into it. When you truly know something is yours, you stop chasing it. You behave as though it is already secured, even when no evidence supports you yet. This is why faith feels like walking before the bridge appears. You take steps into places you cannot yet justify. You move forward without needing permission from proof. You trust unseen mechanics to construct support beneath you, and somehow, mysteriously, the bridge forms. People arrive, events align, opportunities surface. What you believed into motion begins revealing itself in segments, not all at once, but exactly when needed. Faith also changes time. What might take years for the doubtful can take months for the confident. What seems delayed to the anxious arrives rapidly to the assured. The rhythm of faith is different from the rhythm of fear. Faith moves smoothly. Fear stumbles. Faith flows. Fear struggles. When you trust, you remove friction from the process. Instead of battling the current, you float with it. Most obstacles vanish the moment faith replaces worry. Problems shrink when belief grows. Even challenges become proof, building tools instead of roadblocks. You no longer ask, "Why is this happening?" but rather, "What is unfolding through this?" Faith interprets chaos as construction rather than destruction. It understands that delays are often adjustments and detours are sometimes protection. When you hold faith, you become grounded even when results appear slow. You no longer panic at silence or retreat when nothing seems to change. You understand that behind the stillness, motion is taking place. Beneath the quiet, foundations are forming. What appears dormant is often developing roots deeper than what the eye can see. Gratitude is far more than good manners or positive thinking. It is a powerful spiritual force that alters your entire relationship with life. When you give thanks, you shift from the position of the one who seeks into the position of the one who expects. Gratitude announces quietly to the unseen world, "I trust the outcome," and that message carries more influence than thousands of words spoken in fear or doubt. The grateful heart speaks a language that abundance instantly recognizes. Many wait for success before they feel thankful, not realizing that gratitude is often the very condition that invites success to appear. Thankfulness before results may feel unnatural to the logical mind, yet it is natural to spiritual law. Every sincere expression of appreciation dissolves resistance. It softens tension. It opens internal doors that allow supply to enter where strain once existed. When you are grateful in advance, you loosen the grip of worry and make space for something better to arrive. Gratitude also corrects perception. Without it, the mind focuses on what is missing. With it, the mind becomes aware of what is already present. The moment you recognize what you already have, you activate a consciousness of sufficiency, and the consciousness of sufficiency draws increase. Life gives more to the one who acknowledges more. Whatever receives your attention multiplies, and gratitude ensures your attention rests on abundance rather than deprivation. Even in difficult seasons, gratitude carries transformative power. It prevents bitterness from taking root and resentment from settling in. It quiets the inner noise of complaint and replaces it with perspective. When you express thanks in the middle of challenge, you are not denying hardship. You are denying its authority over your spirit. You declare that difficulty does not define you. Disappointment does not own you. Circumstances do not dictate your worth. Gratitude also aligns you with timing you cannot control but can trust. When you thank life for what has not yet arrived, you remove urgency from the equation. Urgency repels, trust attracts. The grateful heart understands that delay does not mean denial, it simply means development. Something is being arranged, coordinated, adjusted, often in ways unseen, but always purposeful. Gratitude heals inner division as well. When you learn to appreciate your present state, you stop fighting your current chapter while longing for the next. Instead of suffering mentally in a future that has not yet come, you begin extracting value from the moment that exists now. This creates peace, and peace creates power. A person at peace is far more magnetic than a person in desperation. There is also a hidden generosity embedded in gratitude. When you are thankful, you naturally become more giving, not out of obligation, but from overflow. And generosity activates circulation. What moves out returns multiplied. Gratitude cannot remain stagnant. It creates motion. It opens pathways. It keeps energy flowing rather than blocked by entitlement or dissatisfaction. Today, the simplest tool for greater wealth, deeper peace, and clearer direction already rests within your reach. It is not complicated. It is not distant. It is not reserved for a chosen few. It is the quiet daily act of recognizing the good that already surrounds you and honoring it before asking for more. Your subconscious mind is vastly more powerful than your conscious thoughts, and yet most people ignore its influence while trying desperately to control life with logic alone. The conscious mind can plan, analyze, and decide, but it is the subconscious that drives behavior, attracts conditions, and shapes outcomes. It does not argue with you. It does not question authority. It simply accepts what you impress upon it as truth and works tirelessly to make that truth visible in your life. This is why you can intellectually believe in success and still experience failure, because emotional belief always overrides mental agreement. The subconscious does not respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you feel is real. Emotion is its language. When you feel fear, it creates experiences that reflect fear. When you feel unworthy, it attracts situations that confirm unworthiness. When you feel powerful, it arranges circumstances that allow power to express itself. The inner emotional environment determines the outer physical one. This is not philosophy. It is hidden mechanics at work beneath every result. Many people unknowingly sabotage themselves through emotional contradiction. They speak affirmations of abundance, yet deep inside they feel undeserving or doubtful. The subconscious receives the emotion, not the words. This creates inner conflict, and inner conflict produces delayed or distorted results. To truly change your circumstances, you must bring your feelings into harmony with your intentions. You cannot speak prosperity while emotionally agreeing with scarcity and expect wealth to appear. The subconscious will always side with what feels true. Emotion is memory as well. Past experiences stored with feeling create subconscious programs. A childhood rejection, a long failure, a repeated disappointment can plant hidden beliefs deep beneath conscious awareness. You may not remember the moment you decided you were not enough, but your subconscious does, and it still obeys that decision until it is replaced with a new emotional truth. This is why change requires more than thought. It requires emotional re-education. You must begin to feel the life you want as if it already exists. This is not imagination, it is instruction. When you emotionally experience success, safety, abundance, or love inwardly, your subconscious accepts those sensations as present reality. Then it begins adjusting behavior, perception, and opportunity to bring the outer world into agreement with the inner atmosphere. What once felt impossible begins to feel normal. What once felt distant begins to feel expected. Your feelings also shape your choices. They influence the risks you take, the standards you accept, the way you interpret setbacks, and what you unconsciously pursue. If you feel worthy, you choose differently. If you feel confident, you move differently. If you feel abundant, you think differently. And those differences compound into entirely new outcomes. Be mindful, therefore, of the emotional state you live in most. Ask not only what you think, ask what you feel daily. Your dominant emotions are your subconscious script. Change the emotion, and the script rewrites itself. Feel differently, and life will respond differently. Letting go is not weakness, it is mastery. Most people believe they must control every outcome, every detail, every moment in order to feel safe. Yet, the more tightly they grip life, the more life resists them. Control is the language of fear. Trust is the language of power. When you release the constant need to manage how things should happen, you open yourself to how perfectly things can happen. There exists an intelligence far greater than your reasoning mind, quietly coordinating events beyond your awareness. It arranges meetings before you realize you needed them, opens doors you did not know existed, and reroutes obstacles long before you encounter them. But this intelligence cannot move freely when you insist on forcing outcomes. Strain blocks flow, worry jams the signal. Anxiety disrupts alignment. When you relax, you invite order. When you trust, you activate precision. Letting go is learning to stand still inside while the world rearranges itself outside. It is choosing peace over panic, expectation over effort, faith over friction. This does not mean inaction. It means inspired action rather than exhausting struggle. There is a difference between effort and enforcement. One feels light, the other feels heavy. One flows, the other fights. In divine alignment, progress does not feel like pressure. It feels like guidance. When you stop controlling, you start receiving. Much of what you desire is already attempting to reach you, but your tension repels it. You cannot attract with clenched fists. Your heart must be open, your mind uncluttered, your spirit unburdened. Resistance creates delay. Allowance creates speed. You may believe letting go means giving up, but it is the opposite. It is giving over. It is trusting the unseen to perform what the seen cannot. When you release the outcome, you often receive something greater than what you originally imagined. Life's intelligence exceeds your vision. Its plan surpasses your expectation. Your job is not to design miracles, it is to permit them. Surrender does not mean ignoring responsibility. It means refusing to carry what was never yours to carry in the first place. You are not the architect of the universe. You are a participant in it. When you allow yourself to be guided instead of pressured, clarity replaces chaos. Opportunities appear where confusion once lived. Synchronicities begin to occur. People arrive at the right moment. Answers surface unexpectedly. Letting go also heals the past. As long as you cling to what should have been, you resist what can be. When you release resentment, you open room for renewal. When you release regret, you unblock forward movement. Freedom begins the moment you stop replaying what no longer matters and start receiving what already waits. The moment you choose trust over tension, your life becomes lighter. The moment you choose faith over force, your path becomes clearer. And in that release, everything that belongs to you begins finding you effortlessly. Letting go is not weakness, it is mastery. Most people believe they must control every outcome, every detail, every moment in order to feel safe. Yet the more tightly they grip life, the more life resists them. Control is the language of fear. Trust is the language of power. When you release the constant need to manage how things should happen, you open yourself to how perfectly things can happen. There exists an intelligence far greater than your reasoning mind, quietly coordinating events beyond your awareness. It arranges meetings before you realize you needed them, opens doors you did not know existed, and reroutes obstacles long before you encounter them. But this intelligence cannot move freely when you insist on forcing outcomes. Strain blocks flow, worry jams the signal. Anxiety disrupts alignment. When you relax, you invite order. When you trust, you activate precision. Letting go is learning to stand still inside while the world rearranges itself outside. It is choosing peace over panic, expectation over effort, faith over friction. This does not mean inaction. It means inspired action rather than exhausting struggle. There is a difference between effort and enforcement. One feels light, the other feels heavy. One flows, the other fights. In divine alignment, progress does not feel like pressure. It feels like guidance. When you stop controlling, you start receiving. Much of what you desire is already attempting to reach you, but your tension repels it. You cannot attract with clenched fists. Your heart must be open, your mind uncluttered, your spirit unburdened. Resistance creates delay. Allowance creates speed. You may believe letting go means giving up, but it is the opposite. It is giving over. It is trusting the unseen to perform what the seen cannot. When you release the outcome, you often receive something greater than what you originally imagined. Life's intelligence exceeds your vision. Its plan surpasses your expectation. Your job is not to design miracles, it is to permit them. Surrender does not mean ignoring responsibility. It means refusing to carry what was never yours to carry in the first place. You are not the architect of the universe. You are a participant in it. When you allow yourself to be guided instead of pressured, clarity replaces chaos. Opportunities appear where confusion once lived. Synchronicities begin to occur. People arrive at the right moment. Answers surface unexpectedly, and now understand this truth and carry it with you. You were never meant to struggle your way into abundance. You were meant to align with it. Wealth and success are not prizes for exhaustion. They are responses to harmony. When your words change, your life changes. When your faith deepens, your path opens. When gratitude becomes natural, supply becomes constant. When your emotions shift, your results follow. And when you release control, power rushes in. From this moment, choose your words like seeds of gold. Believe before you see, give thanks before you receive, feel worthy before the world agrees, trust before proof appears. These are not just ideas. They are spiritual laws that never fail, never delay, never forget your address.